If you are eating dairy containing foods to get enough calcium, or you are taking a calcium supplement every day to strengthen your bones, I want you to hear this very clearly. Calcium alone does not automatically become bones. You can eat as much dairy as you like or even take high dose calcium supplements. Even then, your bones might be becoming weaker. And do you know the reason why? Because calcium is only the raw material. Your body needs right nutrients. First, to absorb this calcium, and second, to use this calcium in your body. And unfortunately, if you do not combine these right nutrients, this calcium can go into the wrong places, which can be in your arteries and can cause calcification of your arteries instead of your bones. And most people think this nutrient is vitamin D. Well, vitamin D is important to take along with calcium, but there are other nutrients, specifically vitamin K2, because vitamin K2 makes sure that the calcium doesn't go in your arteries, but all this calcium actually go towards your bones. But before you run out to buy another K2 supplement or think that I'm already taking a vitamin K2 supplement, you need to know the right protocol that combines this calcium, vitamin D, protein and vitamin K2 in the right quantities. Then only you can build stronger bones. And this is exactly what I'm going to talk about in today's video, why calcium alone is not enough. And in fact, taking high dose calcium supplements sometimes can cause kidney stones or calcification of your arteries. And make sure you stay till the end because I'm going to share with you the exact 4-step protocol to build stronger bones. Hi, I'm Dr. Anshul Gupta, a former Cleveland Clinic functional medicine physician from US. I help people improve their chronic diseases by making personalized functional medicine plans. Now, let me first share with you a biggest myth that people have. People often think that your bones are a big block of calcium. Well, that is not true at all. While in reality, your bones contains a framework of proteins called collagen. And then minerals like calcium and phosphorus gets deposited in this matrix of proteins to give the bones the strength it needs. And then vitamin D comes into picture because it activates the protein which actually helps in deposition of this calcium into the bone matrix to make it stronger. So basically, if you're eating only high calcium foods or taking calcium supplements, that only takes care of one step of keeping your bones stronger. But if you're low in vitamin D or if you have inadequate vitamin K, this whole calcium doesn't get deposited in your bones. Instead, when you get older, this calcium, when it is running in your bloodstream, can be deposited in your arteries and can lead to calcification of arteries. Now, this is where it is very important to know the role of vitamin K in our body, and it is activating the GLA proteins in your body. And these GLA proteins regulate the deposition of calcium minerals in the blood vessels of your body. So when you're low in vitamin K or not taking vitamin K with calcium, then there is a chance that this calcium can get deposited in your arteries and can lead to heart disease. Yes, it is shocking to hear, but research proves it. A 2004 Rotterdam study, which was done in 4,800 Dutch men and women over the age of 50, showed that people who consumed vitamin K2 on the regular basis had lower amount of aortic calcification in their hearts and also lower rates of cardiovascular diseases. So that means definitely that taking higher amount of vitamin K2 does help in reduced calcification of your arteries. Now, as I shared with you before, taking calcium and vitamin K2 alone is not going to build stronger bones. So you need a complete set of protocol so you can keep your bones healthy. So let me share with you my 4-step protocol to keep your bones healthy. So step 1, let's talk about calcium. So here I want to talk about two different things. First of all, foods which are high in calcium and also the right form of supplement for calcium. Most people are eating high amounts of dairy because they think dairy is the only source of calcium. Well, that is absolutely not correct. Dairy does have calcium, but there are also other foods which have high amount of calcium. In fact, modern day dairy is so inflammatory that it hurts your body than helping it. So I prefer my patients to stick with non-dairy calcium food sources. The first source over here are leafy greens, specifically spinach, broccoli, kale, bok choy, and collard greens. These are all high calcium containing foods. Then the second food over here are sesame seeds and tahinis. Sesame seeds again have high amount of calcium, but just sprinkling little bit of sesame seeds is not going to give you enough calcium. You need to have at least 1 to 2 tablespoons of sesame seeds on the daily basis to get adequate amount of calcium in your diet. The third food over here are sardines or salmon with bones. It is very important to remember with bones because that bones are the only ways to get enough calcium. Otherwise, sardines and salmon will still give you high protein, but they will not give you the calcium if they are not with bones. Then the other sources of calcium are beans, edamame, and soya beans. Now, eating lentils and beans alone is not going to give you enough calcium. But when you start combining different kinds of foods, then you can reach that dietary requirement of calcium on its own. So, those are all the foods which are high in calcium. And once you start combining these foods and start eating them on the daily basis, you start getting enough calcium. But for some people, they're still not able to get enough calcium to food. And that's where supplementation is very important. But you need to know what kind of supplement you are using. Calcium supplements come in calcium carbonate form and calcium citrate form. The most common is calcium carbonate form. The problem with calcium carbonate is that it needs enough stomach acid to be absorbed in your stomach, and as you age, your stomach acid reduces. Or you might be on acid reflux medications, which again interferes with calcium absorption from calcium carbonate. So the better form over here is calcium citrate because it doesn't need that stomach acid to be absorbed in your body. There is a third form, chelated calcium. That calcium form is even better absorbed. So if you can find a chelated calcium supplement, then that is a better choice for you. The second choice would be calcium citrate and the last choice will be calcium carbonate. So look at your supplement that you are taking and see which form of calcium you are taking. Now, calcium supplements can also interfere with iron absorption from your food. So that's the reason when you're taking calcium carbonate, that can lower your iron absorption from your food. That's where chelated calcium or calcium citrate is a better option because it doesn't have to be taken with food. So that way it doesn't interfere with iron absorption. The typical dosage of calcium supplements range anywhere from 500 milligrams to 1000 milligrams. And it all depends on your dietary consumption of calcium. If you are eating foods which are high in calciums, then you can only take minimal dosage of 500 milligrams of calcium supplements. But if you are unable or do not have any calcium containing foods in your diet, then sometimes you might have to go to 1000 milligrams of calcium supplement. Now let's move on to step number 2, which is including vitamin K2. So now vitamin K has two forms, K1 and K2. Research studies consistently show that vitamin K2 is the one which helps your body in processing your calcium in the right way. Most of the green leafy vegetables has vitamin K1. There are very few foods which have vitamin K2. Some of the foods are fermented soy, which is also called as natto. Some fermented cheese also have vitamin K2. And then egg yolks, and then some animal proteins like chicken can have very small amount of vitamin K2. So that's the reason for most of the people to get enough vitamin K2, supplementation is the only option. Typical dosage recommended for vitamin K2 in supplement form is 50 micrograms to 100 micrograms. Let's move on to step number 3. This is adding vitamin D. As you already know, vitamin D is essential for calcium to work in your body because it not only helps in absorption of calcium but also delivers this calcium to your bones. So first of all, make sure you do get a vitamin D level checked. And if you are on the low side or in the low normal side, then you need to start supplementation with vitamin D supplement. The lab range of vitamin D is very wide. Most oftenly it starts at 30 and goes up to 100. For most people to have adequate vitamin D, you should be in the middle of this range. And make sure you're taking vitamin D3 supplement only and not vitamin D2. Because D3 is the active form of vitamin D which works in your body. I have created a vitamin D with vitamin K2 supplement. The link will be in the description if you want to buy it. Let's move on to step number 4 is building that bone matrix. As I shared with you before, bone is a complex framework of protein, phosphorus, calcium, and different other minerals. So make sure you are eating a healthy diet, which includes high protein foods, whether it is coming from animal sources like chicken, fish, or turkey, or red meats, or they're coming from plant-based sources like nuts and seeds, legumes, lentils, beans. But also make sure that along with high protein, you are eating a lot of non-starchy vegetables and nuts and seeds, because they will give you the required minerals of phosphorus, magnesium, and calcium to build your bones. So those are step 4s. But here is a bonus step 5, is to load your bones. What that means is that your bones need to get the right signals so that they can strengthen for you. And this is where strength training is very important. And if you do resistant or strength training 2 or 3 times in a week, that will send the right signals to your bone and make them stronger. They can simply be as doing as squats, push-ups, pull-ups, and then you can combine them with weights. But the simple strength training gives the right signals to your bones and your body to make them more stronger. So now you know, just simply eating high calcium food or taking high calcium supplements is not going to work for you. In fact, they might harm your body by giving you calcium stones or getting calcification of your arteries. So you need to combine this calcium with vitamin D and vitamin K2. Then only it is going to work for you and you can make your bones stronger. I hope you like this video, and before you leave, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel so you keep on getting this great information in the future also. Also share this video with others who might benefit from it. Until next time, take care, bye bye.